What's up, guys? How are you doing today? Welcome back to another episode of The Other Worlds 2. I just woke up and I'm feeling like sore all over my body. So today we are moving to the last planet, Cloister. But before that, let me go to Praetor because I saw something when I was editing my last video. So, we are at the Tomb of the Matriarch. What I saw was something interesting. You will see in a minute. Here is the Tomb of the Matriarch. You see that? Open the casket and hope for the best. Trait, lucky. I didn't have that. Or, background gambler. I have that, and I didn't see it when I was here.
Safeguarding the matriarch's remains from the council, are we? This is rather unusual, but it is the only sane explanation for what you currently do.
Well, I don't know what this will accomplish in the future, but we did it. Now let's go to Cloister.
Moment of your time, Commander.
Sure.
Remember that matter on Cloister I mentioned earlier? Well, since we're here and all, thought we might take it up now. Might be hard to believe, but 20 or so odd years ago, I made a mistake. Feels like high time I righted it. Now I'm out and about again. For many years now, a former colleague of mine's been in a remote spot called Reasons Pass, on account of my decision. Hardly. Quite the opposite, in fact. She's one of the finest minds to ever grace the Order. Her research was unconventional, surely. She was as well. I think with both, we could right things, get the Order back on its intended path.
And it's a nice planet. Okay. Oh, let's go with that. Let's go with that.
is quite conducive for cooling the archive, and unconducive for me feeling my fingers.
I find your proposed time leisurely. Unaccountably so.
But going any faster grossly increases the threat of collapse. Burying us beneath the snow benefits no one.
So long as we are operating within the statistical parameters given to us. I see absolutely no reason.
I suppose I could spare 0.004% of my daily cycle to say hello.
Hello. Farewell. Thank you for this.
Have you at least determined the cause of the avalanche?
What could possibly be keeping the repair personnel so... Oh, greetings. By any chance, did you happen to encounter the repair personnel I dispatched to Resistor Bank 2789B12?
Don't know.
Our new JTY-1030 resistor banks are built with enough durability to suffer through a tremendous amount of misuse. But the brutish handling by the Protectorate is too much for it. The misuse is causing moisture uptake, which causes the resistors to give off more heat. In the snow, that means more moisture, which means even more heat. I'm sure you can observe that the problem is cyclical in nature. I don't suppose you'd be willing to aid me in fixing this? Ursopods, Protectorate forces, rogue scrappers, blizzards, mantisaurs, maybe even Auntie's choice forces. Truly a smorgasbord of unfortunate options. It's down in the valley just southwest of the archive. The heat has liquefied all the snow off the glass surface. It is an easy location to observe. Oh, this is most appreciated. Unfortunately, the previous repair personnel took the only repair kit I had on hand. I'll mark the coordinates of the resistor bank on your map, but locating the repair personnel will be up to you. If you find him, you find the kit. I hope. Otherwise, the repair will be most difficult. I'll guide you.
What? What happened to the sound?
plan is always in motion.
Are you going
So
to be
move
a
along.
problem? Because I have a solution that requires very little computation.
Oh, hello. Cogitate here often?
No reason to reason with you.
Did you receive your personalized order prediction yet? I'll admit to a bit of trepidation.
Cause trouble and I will scold you.
The chapter is what I received.
Heard that rift near the archive has destabilized. You're cleared to enter. Go on in.
Ah, Agent, I have a message for you. On behalf of the Order of the Ascendant, and her impermeable wisdom, the presiding bishop Ruth Bassar, welcome to Laplace's garden. The presiding bishop is presently indisposed, but I've been instructed to direct you to the Artificer Laureate for whatever pressing matter has brought you to the garden. She's working in Belvedere Hall's secondary courtyard. Enter the large building at the top of the mesa ahead and follow the first hall on your right. Oh, yes. The vicar did ask me to direct you to him. How positively forgetful of me. He should be waiting for you in Belvedere Hall's main courtyard at the top of the stairs. The Artificer Laureate is head of the Department of Applied Scientism, overseeing the exemplars, or craftsmen, of our order. Weapons and technology all fall under her purview. Oh no, not at all. The presiding bishop routinely spends time in a sensory deprivation chamber to hone her mental faculties. Of course, she does seem to be logging more hours in the chamber of late, but I'm certain that's all part of the plan. The rest of the Laureate Council is capable of managing affairs while the presiding bishop is occupied. Really, it's no reason for concern. Nothing in the garden is. Look around you. I don't see a battlefield. Do you? You're right. My response was too ambiguous. Allow me to be more direct. those in the garden have enough perspective to remain present and to focus on what matters: science and progress. It may seem like I'm speaking from a position of luxury and privilege, but it is a privilege the Order hopes to share with all one day. But now, I fear I have kept you long past an ideal duration. May all your problems precede solutions.
Is it just me? Or does something seem... Oh, never mind.
I'm cutting you off there, Charles. That's your third conviction today. People will start to worry. Welcome to the CAF integration point. Will it be caffeine or convictions today? Convictions are statements which promote personal and professional confidence and well-being, leading to 22.9% more scientific breakthroughs in a given quarter. Interested?
Hit me.
Before I can administer your conviction, I need to ask you a question. In what area of your life do you feel you need the most improvement? Personal or professional?
Both.
But if you had to prioritize one area over the other?
Professional, no.
Expand on that for me.
Let's go to very personal.
You will not remain trapped in a state of ignorance for long. All the answers you seek will be revealed in time through hard work and dedication. Is that right? You'd be the first to admit as much. You know, I'm actually nearing the end of my shift. If you're amenable to continuing our chat somewhere more private, I think we could both benefit. Right this way.
Why I don't like that?
We're not going far. Act casual. We're not going far. Act casual.
What a lamentable state of affairs.
We're not going far.
Great.
On a scale. Of 1 to 100, how pleased are you with the garden in its current state? Please.
I can tell we have little crossover of interests.
You know, you strike me as someone with a very small body of public work.
Act casual.
Well, I suppose you are bugged.
I remember the days when Laplace's garden
lived up to its estimable purpose. Now look at it. The fountain in disrepair, pedagogy in the park, even the lights above our heads have winked out like stars taken down from the sky. War? Not with the corporatists, surely. That seems to have calmed down, for the moment at least. Oh, you must mean our little ideological dispute with the Protectorate. Piffle. My dear pupil, that is nothing but distraction. The real war is happening here, inside the garden. We are battling for humanity's future, and victory balances on a knife's edge. Nevertheless, one must persist. The plan is good. The shadow of ignorance cannot withstand its light. I knew you had a knowledgeable look about you. That would be wonderful. There's a panel just here. I will supervise from a respectable distance, but know that I am with you in theory, like the architect's own guiding hand.
Well, one level away.
Act casual.
You appear to present a low probability of risk. Please don't invalidate my calculation.
A second makeup exam will not be off.
Shh! If I'm caught talking during this makeup exam, what does it matter? Can't mark the occipital from the parietal with these voided questions. And is there something wrong with the air recyclers? It's getting hard to breathe. Oh, good. Just me then. Can't believe my future in the Order will be decided by an understanding of the vaporescent properties of trinitrotoluenes. I don't even like bitrotoluenes. My vision's gone a bit fuzzy, but the exam's right here on the monitor. Have a look. I'm sure I'd recover my wits enough to...
Do your own research.
No, it's fine. I should probably start familiarizing myself with custodial routines. Janitorial sciences. Here I come.
That's why you should study, kids.
The Scientician Surplus. Smart researchers patronize the Scientician Surplus. Quality goods at algorithmically determined prices.
Complexity is partially imaginary.
Welcome to the Scientician Surplus. I am the Scientician in question. Any inquiries about the stock may be directed to me. Please peruse with... You are here for a reason? It's there in the name, surplus.
much to see all this vacant space after the overcrowding at Matriarch's Mercy. Plenty of room for refugees here. If only the Order administrants got their act together.
Lovely day for differential geometry.
Certainly more harvestable in our uranium manufacturing. Imagine years of jeopardous methodological experiments with extraction, refinement, and processing, from the harvesting of liquid uranium to grinding of crystals.
How did your hypothesis about the flowers fare?
Have an intellectually stimulating day.
have a little crossover of interests.
You appear to present a low probability of risk. Please don't invalidate my calculations. Test your hypothesis elsewhere.
Every day treating the same strains and abrasions. My tenure for a multifactorial disorder. The operating theater is not conducting viewing dissections at this time. That is not an invitation to return to your study and perform exploratory surgery on yourself or a willing volunteer, just to be clear. That is best answered.
No.
I hope you have something challenging for me to cure.
Unauthorized visitors are not authorized. Do I need to diagram that for you?
No, but if you can take a walk, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Your admittance to the Chamber of Conflict Evaluation and Strategic Planning may come at a later date, as determined by the Office of the Oracle Laureate.
A visitor? It's for the best that you're talking to me now instead of mid-work. I do seem to have a slight propensity for stabbing randomly with my tools when interrupted, but I suppose that's enough time spinning in the statements column. Speak away. What are you... Beckett. Another prediction that he hasn't seen fit to notify me about. A more cynical exemplar might posit his doing this to be intentional. If you're here, I imagine you aim to petition the presiding bishop for her support, which is hardly a surprise. She is the most important individual in Arcadia. I'm glad we're in accord. The presiding bishop's leadership allows the Order to act in Arcadia's best interest. Without her, we would be nothing. The corporate invaders will suck Arcadia of its resources and cast it to the wind. And the Protectorate are no better than machines. Moreover, once we solve the universal equation, it will benefit all of humanity. You, me, everyone. No more suffering, no more doubt. Well, I hope you'll see in time. There is a task of pivotal importance to the Order, but I cannot entrust it with just any come-by-chance outsider. As head of the Order's exemplars, it's my responsibility to assess whose aims upon Ruth may be malicious. Prove yourself to me first, then we may discuss the rest. To the point. Very well. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there. From what I understand, Vicar Levin's continued existence is a mere side effect of whatever personal vendetta you happen to be attending to. I'm pleased he does not lie among the ranks of the dead, but I will need a more tangible effort on your part to trust you.
Well, you got me on that.
I'll withhold my appreciation until this task is complete. May you act within the equation's confines.
We should collect Azza from the ship first. Unless you don't want the benefits of her inside knowledge of the cult.
Now, how might we be of use to one another? I scarcely take time to engage in idle conversation, but perhaps this will be specifically a phlogistinated firearm, capable of tunneling through reinforced armor. Broadly, weaponry, research, anything capable of giving our exemplars an edge. Great. I was just thinking, I'd love for a stranger to come along and patronize me so I could blindly hand them experimental Order technology. I have nothing but respect for Ruth. Without her guidance, the Order may never have found the strength to dissolve its Protectorate bonds. If I had to dig for the smallest critique, I'd note that she shoulders too much. If she collapses beneath the strain, the Order will be rudderless. This we cannot afford. I generally prefer to keep discussions relevant.
No admittance. Please direct the Artificer Laureate's permission.
Hello, stranger. Mercenary. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Any undue rage you note in my tone is not at all related to the recent coup in my beloved protectorate. I do so dearly love residing in a nest of traitors, waiting for them to capitulate, unable to aid my fellows at home. It is truly a wonderful feeling. I cannot leave. My sovereign-given task is to bring the Order back into the Protectorate fold. But now it seems as if I must also bring the Protectorate into its own fold. One deed at a time, Philo. I am not just anyone. The duty of a liaison is of the utmost importance, requiring due diligence and delicacy. Though I suppose it a mite strange that this task fell to me, as I'd urge the vehement tanning of any wayward body bent on disrespecting the Protectorate, which would now include the Protectorate at large. Madness, slandering my beloved sovereign, following that feckless consul, makes my blood boil. I had reason to suspect the consul for some time, but this is beyond the range of simple suspicion. Some subjects had begun to doubt the sovereign's ability to lead as his father had. But I did not expect them to turn so openly. Anyone who didn't side with the sovereign will pay, sooner or later. You may count on it. I've proudly served the Protectorate my whole life. Now look at it. Traitors from without, traitors from within. It's enough to make an old man despair. That consul, I never trusted that miserable bastard. His betrayal is so galling, I'd almost care to join the armed forces to bring him to justice myself. But my hands quaver with age, and the Sovereign has tasked me with my own duty. I must see it to completion before all else. Listen, you. The Protectorate does not do delegation. The Protectorate has a will that must be upheld. My presence here is a display of more faith than these fools deserve. Niceties are irrelevant, and likely detrimental to the task at hand. I am here to make the Order see the error of their ways. All other particulates are frivolous. Hate is an inaccurate phrase. I find them arrogant and exasperating. Without the Protectorate, this little organization would have no holdings to squat in. I am here because the Sovereign has tasked me with bringing these wayward, pretentious toddlers back into the Protectorate fold. Unfortunately, my time here has taught me that only mass death has the power to change the local hearts and minds. Perhaps enough will be alive to save afterwards.
Interesting conversation we had here. What do you mean with that?
Hey! Only security personnel are permitted in this... At this time, residents of Laplace's garden are not permitted beyond this point.
Well, I see a way inside, I guess. And I will take it. wrong way. Uh-huh. Not again. Excuse me?
If you need to discharge any sputum, I ask you kindly aim such accretions away from my general direction. Thank you. No, not dead. Not yet. Nor imminently, one hopes. I am merely waiting. I have no idea. Sometime last year, I predetermined an occasion of momentous import would happen today, right here, at these very coordinates. Oh no. You know what they say about having too many totalizers on the same sum? Nothing gets solved. All the more reason I rely on my own math these days. Less room for error. Leslie Beckett, Oracle Laureate, Seer Supreme, leader of the Department of Predictive Analysis, and not terribly good at informal introductions, evidently. Never. That would be a serious offense and an effrontery to the principles of the Order, especially for a seer. I vastly prefer the systole and diastoles of competitive debate anyway. But now, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the agent we've been expecting. I knew loitering at this location would yield results. I don't suppose you've stumbled upon any of our excogitation chapels around Cloister by chance? Excogitation chapels are order residencies where one can meditate in solitude on specific theorems relating to the plan. They're scattered all around Cloister. Prior to the war, such focused study led to all manner of breakthroughs, with audio logs routinely kept by the scientician in residence. In these unprecedented times, such logs could harbor hidden wisdom. However, with the war on, I've sadly been unable to get my hands on the last of these recordings. All confidential, I'm afraid. Many are still under peer review, but I can assure you, their value is commensurate with, why, the discovery of gravity, or has the potential to be. Oh no, I couldn't possibly ask you to endanger yourself by seeking out these logs. Cloister is rather treacherous, and some of the chapels are difficult to reach by design. However, if you happened upon these chapels and recovered these logs, I would most certainly be interested in their contents. By my reckoning, the amount of logs to be collected is 4. You have that? 4. No more, no less. Each chapel should have at least one somewhere inside. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Impossible, I'm afraid. The Protectorate is rather well entrenched at present, and nothing short of an all-out siege is likely to dislodge them. If you're determined, I recommend consulting with the presiding bishop on the matter. She can tell you more. Don't we all? Nothing beyond what I already included in my 165-page summary of the incident. Why do you ask? His resignation has been duly received and accepted. Where he goes from here or what he does now is up to him. I expect we won't hear from him anytime soon. On a more positive note, the Department of Predictive Analysis's biennial summits will be far less contentious. Landon Wiley was afflicted by that which strickens all scholars, the desire to effect change, to advance the plan at any cost. Were his methods wrong? Unequivocally. Should he have come to me with his concerns? Undeniably. But was his conclusion categorically sound? That remains debatable. What other stray inquiries occupy your mind?
For pity's sake, industrial science is mostly theory, they said. You won't have to put your knowledge into practice for years, they said. Now the fountain's broken and I can't... Useless. I'm useless. Am I fretting? No. No one in the garden frets. Why would they? Well, there was Roberto. But then he was assigned to the delegation and... should have been back by now, actually. We had an avalanche recently, not far from the dome. One of these fountains stopped working around the same time. Stands to reason something must have been jostled loose. I recently placed into the industrial sciences, so I've been entrusted to fix the issue. But I've never had to put my knowledge into application before. It's not going well. You must be an agent of the architect. The panel here controls the intake and outtake for the fountains. I'd start there. The architect. I hear water running. Come see, it's beautiful. I'd provide compensation, but isn't the garden's beautification a reward in and of itself?
You must be curious why I asked for such a discreet rendezvous. Allow me to whet your appetite for intrigue a little further, shall I? I have adequate reason to believe the Order is conducting a mass experiment on the population of Laplace's garden. Recall what you have observed thus far. Isn't it strange how calm everyone is? The Order is in the middle of a war. A war, one might say, they are losing. The Order is not cultivating its perfect, plan-abiding society through careful ideological pruning, as the laureates would have you believe. It's simple pharmacology. Put bluntly, they're regulating the emotions of everyone in Laplace's garden through drugs in the water supply. I'm limiting my water intake and using other pharmaceuticals to combat the effects. It's not a perfect system, but it works adequately enough. It makes the mind quieter, like closing the door on a screaming crowd. It's not unpleasant. Why would the Order want to create a society of undistractable little academics whose only desire is to advance the plan? I wonder. Moderate your volume, please! No one here is in any immediate peril. Probably. The Order claims the subjects here supposedly consented to participate, but it was begun prior to the schism with the Protectorate, so who's to say? Regardless, if the Order has made some kind of pharmaceutical breakthrough, imagine how useful it might be to certain parties to know about it in advance. I represent a group of information traders who would pay well to get their hands on a sample of this drug. Interested?
Let me guess, Sabrosa.
So you've heard of us? Good. That makes this easier. My primary task has been to watch the Order. But I'm confident my superiors would agree. Physical proof is of far greater value than mere rumor. No. This is about control. Everything is. Nothing nefarious, if that's the needle in your conscience. We only mean to study the drug and consider all of its many applications. I know that must read as terribly vague to you, but I'm not at liberty to provide more detail than that. All you need to do is enter water reconditioning and collect a sample of the drug. I believe they call it perspective. This passcode will give you access to the main terminal. Thankfully, you've already accessed the facility, so we needn't bother the Oracle Laureate for a keycard. That would have been a fairly risky proposition, to say the least. Whatever you do, be discreet. I can't have any laureates asking questions about me. Understood? Outside of work, I have, let's call it an alternative inventory. You'll have to pay, of course, but I'm sure I have something that'll make your job a little easier. And I'd like to offload some of this merchandise. Sounds like a win-win.
You stay right there.
I hope you have good news for me. I knew I had the right person for the job. You've saved me quite the headache. Your reward, as promised. Aw, wondering if you'll ever see me again? Precious. I'll remain in the garden a little while longer, but it would be best if we limited contact with one another. No offense. But who knows? The plan mystifies even the greatest minds. Perhaps our paths will intersect again someday.
Enjoy your time in the garden.
Use caution as you progress. Please, don't distract me from my more pressing distractions.
Emergency protocols ready.
It appears we've dealt with all of them. That was a close one.
Soldier, please assess your pain on a variable scale of 1 to 100. With 1 being entirely pain-free and 100 being the worst pain you can imagine.
There is far too much variability in that scale. The amount of pain I can imagine is hardly an objective measure of the maximum amount of pain I could actually
I have many
feel.
solutions, but none for your problem, by the look of it. In its own right. Now, if you were to indicate, using a scale of 0.4 to 12.7, how close...
Oh, hello.
I
Glad
have
to
nothing
take
to
your
say,
often.
unless you want to discuss the inverse of the Planck function, in which case I'll talk your ear off.
I have too much on my mind for idle numerical. You see these magnificent weapons? They have the...
Hello, lady.
You okay? Seem off by a few decimal points.
Training group to help protect the subject's
Thank you for this efficient and compact conversation.
Another object, just gone. Nothing should work that way. No matter how often the data is verified and sanctioned, it is difficult to believe.
I concur. I would give an internal organ or two to understand it. What it means. Excuse me, I don't think you have the author is fascinating.
Salutations. We've been doing our utmost to find ways to manipulate this rift or extract data from it. Unfortunately, our efforts have been ineffective thus far. I suppose it's too much to hope for, but would you, perchance, happen to have any practical experience with or mathematical understanding of the rift phenomena? Hmm? Wait. Actually? This isn't some jest. You'll have to forgive me for not taking your assertion at face value. Perhaps a demonstration. For science, of course.
All the items we put into the rift, they've been reconstituted.
They're far different from their original configuration. Fascinating. Oh, damn it. It's reverted to its previous state. Was it a failing of the device, or the inevitable effect of the passage of time? Architect above. That was incredible. That small, portable device changed the state of the rift anomaly in an instant. From observing how the device operates and how the rift reacted to it, it seems to be using some kind of energy burst generated by a magnetic field to re-deregulate the structure of the field around the rift. Truly an astounding piece of technology. That's quite ingenious. The rifts are unlike any other phenomena heretofore observed. We've still so much to learn. Would you consider allowing me the opportunity to open the casing and examine the inner workings? No, forget I asked. What a preposterous question. Thank you for the demonstration. It was most enlightening. You have given my team and I a good deal to think about, and to try and fit into our current theoretical framework. It seems rifts do not fit cleanly into our current understanding of the universal equation.
Your shift on the front line. Show your workers shove Please keep your behavior within acceptable parameters. I can't go back out there. I feel like I'm going to succumb to panic. All of you reinforcements from... Are you going to be a problem? Because I have a solution from the norm that requires very little complication. Just stay focused. Keep your head down. Breathe. I've got your numeral. Keep moving. What do you think those Protectorate subjects are? Are you there? If you happen to be headed into Protectorate territory, can you keep your lamps open for my scouts? That squad should have reported back hours ago. Are you there? If you happen to be headed into Protectorate territory, can you keep your lamps open for my scouts? That squad should have reported back hours ago.
Where do they hide their pitchball cards in this planet? Oop.
Proceeding to attack. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Check this.
Dispensing light.
Investigating hostile intentions.
Please, Elisa. They always come from that big building across the street before they open the gate. Must leave a key in there.
Well, let's find that key. There should be a way inside. but I don't see it.
It's clear. Go, go, go!
Resorting to violence. Combatant scared.
Amplification in progress. Mitigating the threat.
Well, we reach where we have to go with Marshall, but that will have to wait for the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.